Hey, Miran here. So, I recently launched Chapter 1 of my game, Escape Rooms with the Narrator. And, well, I have the results 1 week later. And so, here they are. I got 508 views, 194 downloads, 4 ratings, got added to 20 collections, got 20 comments. Half of those were probably me. And then the 7-day impressions were 44.1 thousand. The click-through rate, which is just like, it's the views divided by the impressions times 100, was 0.46% at the end. And now, because I'm recording this way more than a week later, because I was busy with the important things in life, the game is pretty much dead. Right. If we go into the analytics, we can see that it is just gone. So, I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about dreams. So I've been making games for like 5 years now, right? 5 years that I've been self-teaching myself using Unity, which is another beast in itself. 3D modeling, programming, music production. And the thing that drove me to learn about these was the indie game dev dream, right? And that's what I want to talk about, is dreams. 2014, right? That's not 2014, but like I started making games in 2018, but in 2014, in like June, we all know what happened, or maybe we don't. The first FNAF game was released, and it took over the internet, and it was a massive success. Basically the first, like, mascot horror game, right? We had Bendy and the Ink Machine. We had Poppy Playtime. We had Garden of Banban. All of these games were like big hits on YouTube for one reason or another. And all these mascot horror games are specifically created to make kids buy toys to generate money, because at the end of the day, that's what this all boils down to. And so we've been fed these stories, right? We've been fed these stories of game developers. We've seen the stories of successes in, Scott Cawthon, other people, even other games like Braid, Minecraft, Notch earns billions, like literally billions of dollars from selling his stake in Mojang to Microsoft. And we read these stories and we develop this dream in our head right here, that if we make a game with a good enough idea, that we can achieve that as well. And so that's why this market has gotten oversaturated with, or the indie game horror market has so many mascot horror games. It's because Let's Players play them, kids want to buy the toys, and they make cash, etc. Right? The important thing to remember is that, to be brutally honest, dreams don't come true most of the time. Because if you have enough people making games for enough time, then eventually you'll have some successes. And the paradox with this is that the successes are what people talk about. You don't talk about the failures because nobody cares about the failures, right? Nobody cares. Nobody talks about them, and that's why they're failures. So that's why, maybe I'm just speaking for myself here, but I am certain that because of these successes, somebody else out there was like, you know what? I'm gonna be just as successful as those people. And I mean, look, maybe you will, maybe you won't. But when I started making my game, like Chapter 1, I was, trying to make games that I thought the indie horror game landscape would like. I don't know if I believed it or not, but I hoped that it would be the game to help me succeed. But it wasn't. Which is okay, right? Failure is normal. I mean, even you look at these indie game developers that succeeded, right? Scott Cawthon was making games for 20 years before he actually made FNAF. But my brain just attributed that to bad marketing. I mean, he was making Christian games. Who's gonna play that? Notch was working on Candy Crush before he made Minecraft. The Bendy and the Ink Machine team probably made a bunch of games before. I mean, hell, even Garten of freaking Banban. The developers had made a few other games before that. I was watching a Thomas Brush video where he was talking about how there's a target and most game developers want to hit the center of the bullseye, which was making a lot of money. And then they release their first game, they want to hit the bullseye, and they don't even hit the target because they make no money. They get sad. They get discouraged. And I mean, I've been guilty of that. Honestly. I'm kind of in a rut right now because of this. Instead of making games that other people would want to play, maybe I should try to make something that I would want to play, that I would be happy if it was created. And the problem with that is I am literally the lowest common denominator of gaming. I'm really mentally tired right now. Let's just boot up Fortnite and just have some fun. So what if I created something like that? Instead of trying to force my way into the indie horror game landscape, which I've tried for 5 years now. I mean, I'm not joking. I know these games were trash, right? I realize that. They're bad. This one, let's see. First indie horror game I made. It was terrible. And then this is the next one I made. This one was also trash. I mean, I learned a lot, but it was bad. This was one I made during COVID. This one got a lot of views for the sole reason that I made it worth $1, and then I put it on 100% sale. I mean, the one comment I got on this game was this. I might play this at some point, or I might wait until October to play this. I've been doing this for a while, right? Not as long as some other people, but I was making games when on the popular page, there was 175,000 results. Look at the number now. I don't know how somebody would, make it these days. Going back to the dream idea, it's yeah, sure. Your indie game dev dream can succeed. It can't. It also probably won't. So for me, I don't know if there's going to be a chapter 2. I think that the downfall of this game was that it was too complicated for people to really grasp it quickly. That's why all these other horror games, I'm not saying they're worse or better or anything. It's just those horror games get to the point quicker. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to give up on game development. I'm going to shift my strategy from what I've been doing for the past 5 years, from indie horror that's getting so much harder to be unique in, and I'm gonna switch to something with more possibilities. So I'm gonna try and create something that I want to play. And as much as I like puzzle games, it's not something I would boot up and just be oh, let's take a break. So I guess the moral of the story is dreams probably won't come true. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't keep trying, because eventually the top game on itch.io, or massive success on Steam, or I don't know, a mobile game that's featured on the App Store, it's going to be yours. Thanks for watching, listening to this. If you downloaded the game and played it, thank you. And I'll see you later.